What's up, guys? Something cool came in today. You guys want to see? Okay, let's go. That's a good question. Where should we go first? I got an idea. Okay guys, so we're gonna try it from here. Now what I'm gonna do first here is I'm going to have the volume be turned up and played at 50% volume. Now distance wise, we're about a good quarter mile from the speaker. I want you guys to know what it sounds like from a distance, okay? All the videos I see online, everybody tries them just in the grass out in front of them and play it, and you know, and expect you to get a good gauge. I want you guys to really see some real distance. Now, if you guys can't tell, it's windy out here. It's about a good 18 to 23 mile-an-hour winds. So that's what I'm dealing with right now. The wind is coming from that direction. The speaker is that direction. So I want you guys to know, with the crosswind and everything, realistically, you guys are not gonna hear it at 50% volume from here. It's just too far, but I'm gonna do it anyway, just so you guys know. Hold on a second. Okay, so we're gonna crank it up from about 1/8 of a mile distance. Okay, Nicole, crank it up. You guys hear that? I hear it pretty good. You guys may not be able to hear it. It's windy, like I said. There's a lot of extra noise going on around here, but I hear it pretty good from here. And it's windy, guys. I don't know if you guys can really tell. I mean, look at my clothes, right? All right, so we're gonna go to the speaker and I'm gonna give it a rundown. I'm gonna give you guys the rundown, okay? Yeah, baby, y'all know what that is. And if you don't know what it is, that's the Soundboks 3. It's not new, but it's new to me, all right? Stay tuned. What's good, guys? Jay on the Segway here. So we got the Soundboks 3 here, right? So it's a pretty cool unit. Some of the pros of this thing might actually be the weight, but that's subjective because if you're not used to picking up 34 pounds, then the weight won't be a pro. But I find it to be very light when you're carrying it for short distances, which is pretty cool. But I've been wanting one of these bad boys for a minute, guys, for a long time. And then you know what? I said, screw it. Let's go on ahead and pull the plug. Now, I want to make a disclaimer. It's drizzling right now. I don't know if you guys can tell, but it is drizzling. So we have this thing outside in a somewhat of a realistic situation. You know, you're outside in a party and it starts raining. Now, this thing has an IP65, if I'm not mistaken, water resistant rating. If you guys don't know what water resistant means versus waterproof, waterproof means what the GoPro just did before this thing started, before we started this part of the video. That's waterproof, okay? This is water resistant. This thing has resistance to water, meaning rain, splashing. If you have it, if you have it poolside, which I don't recommend having something like this poolside, because if somebody like, oh, go, they're drunk and they might want to change a tune and might accidentally pull this into the water, you're done. You get a 2-year warranty with the unit. I'm not sure about the batteries, but the actual speaker has a 2-year warranty as far as I know. And this thing can get pretty wet, guys. You know, a lot of these companies are reserved. They reserve the true capabilities of their product, but they have to, because people will abuse it. Anyways, as far as the most vulnerable part of this speaker that I found was this spot right here. You see that connect? It's just open metal. So if you guys are gonna have it out in the rain, if it's drizzling or something like that, first of all, I wouldn't even have it out in the rain. If it's drizzling like how it is right now, just a little water falling here and there, that's not too bad. But this is your weak link right here, guys. This is definitely your weak link. So you want to keep this protected. You could probably put tape over it. It depends on you. Anyways, we're going to have the serial number here. They all come with their own little serial number, the 73,253rd. And I've never seen one of these in person. I didn't know that 73,252 other mugs have these before me. That's a lot of people, guys. Okay. Now this side, I decided I'm going to keep this on, maybe until it starts looking raggedy, then I might change it. But under here is basically your join. If you want other speakers to, you know what, I'm not even going to talk on this. I don't really know what this is necessarily, but I'm going to play around with this speaker for probably about a month, and I'm going to give you guys another review on what I think. Now, there's tons of reviews on this thing, so I really don't want to spend much time on this, because I'm sure you guys saw all the other videos before mine, because this is a new video and this product has been out for a while. But you got your volume knob, and they just released the update. Now, today's date is April 19th, 2020. And as soon as I opened it up yesterday, which is the 19th, I had, I think, kind of like a 3-stage update. And basically from what I've learned, the update allows you it'll automatically synchronize your phone, or your tablet or your iPod, whatever it is you've used to Bluetooth to this speaker last. It'll automatically connect to it if its Bluetooth is on and it's within range. So that's pretty cool. Now, I use my iPod. I have a first or a second gen iPod Touch. I use that, and it's pretty outdated because I tried to download the Soundboks app, which you guys need to go on ahead and download. I've tried downloading the Soundboks app, and I was able to download it, but every time I tried to open it, it just closed out. So, but you don't have to have the Soundboks app. I want you guys to know you do not have to have the Soundboks app. You can go on ahead and go straight Bluetooth on your phone or tablet, whatever it is, whatever media device you want to use to run your music or your movies. You can play all that. I don't want to insult anyone's intelligence, but I have to let it be known, because some people have these questions and you're just like, okay, let me try to touch all the important stuff, or even the small things that you may not think is important. Anyways, I'll be playing music with my iPod, right? And if I decide out of nowhere I want to use my phone to play music or play a YouTube video and get the sound from the video on this, it won't let me do it. I have to literally turn the Bluetooth off on my iPod and then go on ahead and find it on my phone and connect it. Now, at the same time, if I have the Soundboks app, because my phone is, I have Note 10 Plus, so I have the Soundboks app downloaded on my cell phone. I can actually have control over this speaker with my cell phone while my iPod is Bluetooth to it, playing the music from the iPod. So that's something that's kind of cool. I kind of wish you can seamlessly move between devices, but maybe they're going to do that in the update. Okay. So anyways, this part right here, all the dials here seem to be, there's a lot of rubber, and it just seems to be a little more protective as far as waterproof is concerned. So this speaker literally fell before this video started. That's like about almost a nearly 3-foot drop. This speaker fell, and guess what protected it? These silicone ball ends. It actually protected the body, which, speaking of the body, plywood, right? That actually sound like some sort of metal. Anyways, it's supposed to have aluminum frame. So all these rails here, everywhere around this unit is aluminum. And the adhesive that they use to keep it all together is some sort of a flex adhesive. Now, if I understand what that means that when it gets really, really hot, ambient temperatures, if it gets really, really hot, you guys need to be careful with handling this. I would be careful handling. Now, it has screws everywhere, Allen keys, look like 8 millimeters. It has Allen keys all over the place, up, 2 of them on each of these ball, or 3 actually on each ball. They all have 3 Allen keys. I'd be careful because, when it gets warm, of course, just common sense, it gets warm and the adhesive starts to flex a little bit. Now, it's a flex adhesive, so it's doing what it's supposed to be doing. But if you don't want to compromise the integrity of the structure of this speaker, I would just be very careful when handling it in hot temperatures, probably like 90 something or higher. If it's out in the sun all day, just be wary of that, okay? Now, most complaints that I've seen, because I've watched plenty of reviews of this speaker, was no bass. Now, it kind of does have bass. Now, I have a really powerful home theater system at home, so I kind of know what bass sounds like. This has some bass, guys, but it's not a lot. The higher you go in volume, the more bass you lose, because this speaker is this is one of those, you're not going to get distortion speakers. So in order to do that, they have to tune this speaker to lose some of that bass the higher you go in the volume, even when you have it on the bass boost option. What's the bass boost option? Or bass plus is how they actually have it listed on their app. When you do the update, you're going to get 3 options as far as sound profiles go. You're going to get bass plus, you're going to get I think power, which is kind of like the normal sound, as if you never even updated it. Normal is going to be, or power, I think is listed as power, is going to be kind of like your normal. It's going to be the only sound profile you get out of this thing. And you have indoor. This speaker sounds great indoors. I've seen reviews where people saying that it's too loud. Maybe if you're in a dorm room, it's too loud for the indoors, like in your home, if you're in a dorm room, but not even. Another thing is, the cell phone or whatever media device, I keep saying cell phone because I usually use my cell phone on my iPod to play audio on this, or have, at least from yesterday to today. You have 2 different volume profiles. You have the one from here, which is this, right? This one has its own volume knob. It works completely separate for whatever media device you use to play your music on this guy. So keep that in mind also. You guys which I like it because it gives you more flexibility, because if you just went off of this volume knob as the only volume source when you're playing any type of audio, it's going to be pretty, it'll be pretty loud, I guess. So you have more control when you're able to use your media device and the volume from this for volume options. And this is all at the same time. Another thing I like about this speaker box is, if you're going to order it on Amazon, right? And before I talk about that, I need you to like and subscribe, okay? Stop being lazy. It's 2 clicks. If you like the video. If you like the video, subscribe and like. Hopefully you guys like the video. But that being said, we're going to go back to this. We have channel 1 and channel 2's auxiliary in, auxiliary out. You can connect, supposedly you can connect, I'm gonna make sure I'm saying this right. You can connect a microphone, you can connect other speakers to this one speaker. You can do it via Bluetooth. You can connect musical instruments. I'm not sure of the connections, what they look like for like guitars and stuff like that, but supposedly you can connect it to this speaker, but you need preamps for that. You need something that can power it, and then this will be able to play it. This doesn't have, I'm assuming this thing doesn't have a preamp inside that'll automatically power whatever it is you're trying to do. So what I tried to do was, I tried to take my pop voice lavalier microphone, connect it directly to the speaker in the auxiliary in, right? Because you want the sound's gonna come from the source into the speaker, and then it's gonna shoot out of the speakers, essentially. I tried to use all my microphones, my Rode lavalier microphone, my pop voice lavalier microphone, and I've tried the one that I'm using right now, which is the Rode Video Micro. I mean, the Rode Wireless Go. None of them worked. Okay, so keep that in mind. If you want to hook a microphone up to this thing, I have to do a little bit more research on that. Maybe I'll call Soundboks myself, or you can call them and ask them, how does that work with microphones? If you want to use a lavalier microphone, do you need a preamp of some sort? But you have that accessibility here on the bottom of this sound box. And when you order this thing on Amazon, if you guys do order it on Amazon, I've ordered mine on Amazon, so I'm only going to speak on Amazon. If you order it on Amazon with 2 battery packs, you guys need to make sure that the options, you know, when you scroll down past the product and you see the picture of the speaker, it says 1 BB, which is 1 battery box, and you have 2 BB. I had bought the 2 BB, so I have 2 batteries that this thing came with, as you guys seen in the video. And these batteries, I've been using this speaker all day. I think I've used it the day before yesterday, which was Friday. I used it Friday, I used it Saturday, and today's Sunday, and I've used it a little bit today. You have a button right here. I'm gonna zoom in on this video. It doesn't even look like a button. It just looks like a pad, a little soft silicone pad. You press it, tell you how many bars of battery you have. Now, in the manual that the speaker comes in, you know, the box, you have manual. Okay, the manual will tell you exactly how much percent is each bar worth. So I'm only missing 1 bar, guys. I've played it at full volume of, you know, maybe for about total time, I'd say about 30, 40 minutes total time of me ever using this unit with this battery, because this is the same first battery that I've put in when I first opened the box. Otherwise, it's probably around half volume, maybe a little bit longer, a little bit higher than half volume. Now, as you guys saw earlier in this video, this speaker is pretty darn loud. Now, the home theater system in my house is a penetrating type of loud. I'm talking, it goes right through walls. If you have neighbors, they're gonna complain because it's gonna knock stuff off their, you know, if they're cooking, it's gonna knock the food off the stove. It's gonna do all that. This speaker does not do that. It is more of a, like they say, party speaker. It's very loud, very just loud, but it doesn't penetrate. As you can imagine, this is probably like a little bit over 1 foot wide. You got the woofers in the front. How deep do you think those magnets are? They're not that deep. I mean, just look at it, you know? So, let's talk about inside of here, right? I don't want to take you guys off, but I'm going to take you guys off. Y'all see inside of there? That's a port. So that's something I've never seen anybody talk about. Now, when I was playing music out of this thing, right? Kind of try to get my hand in there just to see if I can feel air coming out. I did feel air coming out. Oh yeah, please believe air does come out of it. Not a whole lot of air, okay? So this is what I was thinking. If you trap this thing in a corner somewhere, if you're gonna use it in your home, right? Put it in a corner between 2 walls. 2 walls that meet each other like this. Pretend my body right here is the point of the wall where the 2 walls meet, the corner, so to speak. You put that speaker right here. My arms are the walls now, right? And my body is the corner. You put the speaker right here and the bass comes out of these ports out of the side. You can actually get a little more bass. You actually hear it just a little bit more. It's very faint. Another thing, speaking of bass, right? The bass plus option. I find it useful only if you're gonna use the volume within, I'd say 3/4 or less. The higher you go in volume, the less that bass becomes prominent. It just loses its presence, so to speak. It's not as bassy when you go higher up in the volume. So keep that in mind also. I know it says bass plus. They just tried to give us users or us customers a little more bass, you know? This ain't no Diamondbox XXL, you know, which is a pretty nice speaker, by the way. But I'm not gonna go on ahead and spend all that money. I need you guys' support to get big enough to be able to afford something like that. That's like a $2,000 speaker. But for that money, you can get 2 of these and then you'll be louder than a Diamondbox XXL. So keep that in mind, okay? These things can be split into a stereo setup. If you pair it with another one, you can actually, with the app, designate this, for example, as a left speaker. And if you had another one, you can make that a dedicated right. That'll make this setup even louder again. I mean, these things, they're pretty good flexibility, guys. Pretty good flexibility. So, I don't know. I think this is a pretty good speaker. Do I recommend it to anyone? Yes. I just want to give you guys a disclaimer. Don't get your hopes too high. This speaker is loud, but it's not as loud as I thought it was going to be. But I know loud because of the home theater system at home. So, that's very loud. This speaker is loud. I mean, if you crank it all the way up, which is what you really have to do to give people that wow effect, is someone thinking that it's loud, you have to kind of crank this thing up, you know. If you do that, it's loud. But I do recommend getting one of these. You know, it costs a lot. The battery does last a long time. So if you're not going to use this thing a whole lot, you may be fine with just one battery. I mean, I think for the use that I'm going to use it for, one battery is probably going to be fine. But because I'm more of a moderate sound kind of guy, I don't really be blasting the audio. So if you're that type of person, then one battery should be fine. You don't necessarily need two. I think that's going to be all that I have for now. I might entertain the idea of getting the backpack. I'm sure you guys seen the backpack before. I'm going to entertain that idea. I'll keep thinking about it, and maybe I'll get it, because if you literally want to carry this thing for more than like 100 feet, it starts getting heavy. Unless you're a bodybuilder and you're used to carrying 34 pounds around all the time. I'm just not. So if you're someone like me who's not working out all the time, then this thing will get heavy after probably like 100 feet, I'd say. But without further ado, guys, I'm going to hold any more information. I'm going to go on ahead and play with this speaker as much as I can, so I can give you guys a fair assessment after, we'll see, after a month. Sometimes I can use my stuff very heavily, and I may be able to give you guys a better review in a shorter time. So with that being said, I'm going to give you guys some outro B-roll, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.